Okay, some 16 minutes after 8, and I'll just go ahead and introduce to you my guest now, George Lowe. He's MP for North Dai in the Volta region. Also Frank Anodompre, MP for Nsawam Adwejiri. Happy that they're both members of Parliament, so we'll deal with the issues really well on the show. We know that the majority leader in Parliament is asking for a constitutional review that will stop the president from selecting ministers from Parliament. And he says this will consolidate the principle of separation of powers and allow Parliament work better than it is now. We also do know that it was in reaction to the findings of the National Commission for Civic Education, NCCE, and these were what people, ordinary people, thought. They thought being an MP and also a Minister of State wasn't working well enough. We'll find out from them. They are in Parliament, what they think about this issue. So I'll start with you, Mr. George Lowe. Is this a good call?
Well, thank you very much, Mama V, and good morning to your cherished viewers. Yes, I think there is a call that has come before, and I'm sure it's a call that will come again. And the majority leader is spot on. I endorse his position because the two things that really inhibit Parliament from functioning fully as was envisaged by the framers of the Constitution is the financial muscle of the executive, and also because of this appointive power that has been given to the president to appoint a large chunk of his ministers from Parliament. Mm-hmm. You know that he who pays the piper calls the tune. So if you have to rely on the executive to release monies to us to do our work, you will find that you can only do your work as and when money is released to you. And that does not allow you to follow through with your plans. At the beginning of every year, committees of Parliament, leadership sits down, they fashion out programs for themselves, what they need to do to actualize the work that has been given us as parliamentarians. But as and when you want to do the work, sometimes releases are delayed, and therefore you would have to wait. Some of these delays causes problems. One, for instance, I serve on the Public Accounts Committee. You want to do some number of hearings in a year. You want to do them at particular times to be able to be current. You know, we are not able to do that very much. And if you
and you're
remember,
linking that to?
Yes, to the fact that the executive controls the financial muscle. So you find out that even where your oversight is to ensure that what the executive is doing is that they stay within the financial limits, that they are not doing anything untoward, you are unable to.
But remember that we still have the issue of majority-minority. Majority is always with the government, what the executive says.
But when it comes to committee work, you see, that is why some of us, we are always happy that Parliament's work is like 80% committee, 20% chamber work. Chamber work is what people see, and when we are doing
But the committee is not partisan?
You rarely find partisan. Otherwise, no bill will be seconded in Parliament. Because don't forget that any time we bring a report, it is seconded by the ranking member. It is moved by the chairman of the committee, who comes from the majority. And it is seconded by the ranking member.
Always.
Yes, invariably, all the reports that are adopted, it tells you that both are at idem on majority of the issues.
So how come sometimes we find some of your members going to court because they haven't had their say in Parliament?
Well, but nobody can always have their say in Parliament. You may have some. And I don't have a problem with disagreement. And that is why you see that normally it is not the party that forms the minority that goes to court. It is individuals who believe in certain...
But often we've seen, in this case, the minority.
Well, yes. And I mean, don't be surprised. They may not always agree with everything that goes in a report. So a few of them want to go to court to test. And sometimes you find that they just go to test the law for the benefit of all of us. Now, coming back to this appointive power that has been given to the president by the Constitution, that also really affect the work of Parliament. And from our side, just let me give you a few. About, well, some of our very senior MPs who are lawyers are invariably, majority of them are all ministers of state. So Madam Hanatete is a minister of state, Saruna Idrisu, Fuseni, I can mention a lot more. Dominic Ayeni. These are some of the people who they have such special skills. Dominic Ayeni is one of the finest investment and trade lawyers, international trade and investment lawyers that we have. He actually taught me in law school, you know. But he's deputy minister and deputy attorney general. So he's invariably out there, ECOWAS court today, International Court of Justice tomorrow. He's a member of parliament. He is a member of the Constitutional and Legal Committee. When will he attend committee meeting? Because his ministerial jobs takes him away. When will he be in the chamber to make a contribution? So
what, if you knew that this was a problem, it was a big challenge, why do you wait for NCCE to go and do a research?
No, the NCCE has done their research because possibly it's part of their program. But if you go back to even the constitutional review, if you go back, if you go, the records are there. Members are kicked against this. And I'm saying that it is a conversation that started long ago, that members of parliament have always insisted that they will prefer strict separation. Okay. Where once you are voted an MP, you are an MP, you do the work of an MP, and you don't do two jobs. You see, that of a minister is equally demanded. So that's the problem.
Let me bring you into the conversation, Mr. Domprey. Is it something that Parliament itself is ready to fix?
Well, first of all, I think that it's very important for us to recognize that this is not new. The news that just came out is, for me, is not news.
But you haven't done anything about it.
No,
I mean, we just talk.
Yes, but you know, to make constitutional amendments, it's not just Parliament that does it. You need a whole body of institutions to be concerned, and even to be able to do that amendment, you need the consent of the people. So Parliament can't just get up and do constitutional amendment. That's very important. So it's something that has been said over and over again. And sometimes, as a country, we tend to we pretend. Who doesn't know this? Even the president. We are lucky to have a president who was once a member of Parliament. His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. He knows about this. He knows about these weaknesses between the legislature at one hand and the executive. He's been in Parliament for 12 years. If you talk to the president, he will be kind enough to accept these things. So it is something that we know about it already. The issue and the challenge has been the willpower to make this decisive decision that yes, we want to amend these clauses, these articles in our statute books. That is the question. Because don't forget, as it stands now, the executive benefit invariably. It's the executive that benefit. Because the executive appoint 2/3 of appointees from Parliament. Now, naturally, parliamentarians who becomes part of the executive will do the executive's bidding. When bills and agreements and papers are brought to the House, so you hear the yeah is loudest because everybody wants to catch the attention of the president to get the blessings of the president.
Is that it?
Well, I have to be honest with you. That is it. Because most people, by and large, will want to conduct themselves in a manner. Of course, there will be exceptions. He is an exception. Not because,
is it because he's here?
No, because, no. I've known him for some time now, and I know he's an exception. So it's the challenges and the weaknesses is known. It's long known and overdue. If I stand for correction, the 1960 Constitution was a strict separation. Parliament will have to be left to do its work. So this thing is not new. I think the NCC just chanced upon it. And I agree with Honorable Bagbin perfectly. But beyond the weakness and the problems and challenges that Parliament has as a body, I think the Parliament as an institution has also shot itself in the tie. We have not done to the Public Relations Department of Parliament. There's this myth about the work of a parliamentarian, our take home and all that. Everybody sees a parliamentarian. I have been in the House barely 2.5 years, and I can tell you, it's not as I thought. Because, look, and I should not be saying this. We shouldn't be saying
no,
this.
but once you say it, I think it would resonate more with us.
I can say it, but I think that the body mandated to do what they have to do will come on. Parliament will have to come on. I am saying that I'm on record.
So what were you thinking before? You thought they would pay you a lot more money than they're paying you?
It's not just about money. Okay. It's not just about money. You see, when you talk about these things, you need to be careful. If you're not careful, people see that, this guy is just out there going to look for money. But I'm saying that there's a perception. And that perception is not grounded. If we take loans for cars, and we pay these loans compared to what the executive inherits, they don't take loans for cars. We pay our loans. And if you itemize all these things and you look at the take home of parliamentarians compared to what they have, what's expected of them, what they have to do, it's not as people thought. And I'm saying that it's not the work of an MP to come and tell the public and the Ghanaian what we are taking. I accept it. I'm not complaining about what I'm taking, but it is just fair. The Parliament as an institution should communicate effectively for the average Ghanaian to know our job, they have to help us, because now I have launched a program visiting my communities and letting them know what I'm supposed to do, what I'm not supposed to do. We are doing it. But Parliament should also come out to tell the Ghanaian what MPs are supposed to do. And of course, the NCC. If you look into the Constitution, they have the mandate to do that. Civic education. Going to educate Ghanaians on our rights and responsibilities and the job of an MP. The NCC will have to do that.
Are you prepared as MPs to have details of everything that you take, for instance, publicized?
No, personally, I don't have a problem. If it is publicized, I don't have a problem.
So everybody can know what your take home, for instance.
It is going to help us. Invariably, it's going to help us.
You disagree?
Well, No. I just made my face because I asked myself, why is it not publicized? Everything. The only reason why Joy FM can get up and say MPs take this is because you have the information. It's public knowledge. Yeah. There's no document. Even the documents that we approve, all the statutory funding that we approve, that MPs have a common fund for this and that. It's there. It's public knowledge. You go to anywhere, you pick the document. It's there. It's been stated in black and white. You know, so really, it is public knowledge already. That is why
another revelation, and I think that just as you said, with this one, it's something that we know already is not new. Yeah. Another thing that came up was the fact that you are seen as MPs as development agents, and part of it is because of your own promises that you make to the people.
You see, let me just say something to that. You see, from 1992, when we started this process, we have evolved, we have grown. People should be a bit considerate. In happening at this, people always hold MPs to it and say, oh, you said it, and therefore. No, it is not every MP who said that. Some MPs did that. It doesn't mean that that is what every MP does. And we cannot say that the law says the MPs are supposed to do A and B. And that's because some MPs have been, for want of a better word, stubborn, or been carried away to go and say things they're not supposed to do. We should just sit down and watch them and let the thing go bad. No, that we should get that corrected once and for all. And you see, this problem about the weakness of Parliament, we tend to personalize it. We tend invariably to personalize. I'm saying that the president has an input to make. The president of the Republic. That is where the bar stops. We make all the laws, and he will have to give assent. It's the president that gives a final assent to even the bills that we passed into law. It's the president that assented. So you ask yourself, is it MPs who pass laws, or is the president? Which is debatable anyway. So,
but you make the laws, and we trust that you make the right laws, and the president can't do everything.
You do know that.
Yeah, Mama V, the truth is that, you see, when you put it that way, it's interesting. The bills emanate from the executive. As an MP, I can't just get up and say, let's pass a bill.
No private member's bill.
The executive must bring the bill. Committee of Parliament looks at it. If it is a subsidiary legislation, the subsidiary legislation look and says, is it in conformity with the laws that we have already? When it's a bill of parliament and it's brought to say the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, we sit at it and look at, have they followed due process? What they are talking about, is it consistent with the laws of the country? Is it consistent with the Constitution? You understand? Is it true that what they are doing is to the benefit of the people of Ghana? So we don't invariably, yes, we can change a lot of things during consideration. But we are, by that exercise, just trying to tighten the loopholes,
but
dot
even
the I's,
with that,
and then you do what we do during consideration, we give it a firmer body, and we think that we make it a better law.
But even with that, sometimes people have questioned that work that you do, and they have said that you have not always been effective at that.
Because you see, I always put that particular thing at the doorsteps of the media. Because the media does something that I always hammer on. And I challenge you, quietly come to Parliament and look at proceedings. We start at 10. So the media is all there. When we are doing our shouting match, we say, "Hi, Mr. Speaker, I don't agree," this and that. The media is happy to cover. When we are doing consideration, which is the law-making function of Parliament, the gallery is cleared. The media gallery, everybody goes.
And you're blaming us?
Yes, because that is the most important.
You don't pay us for the coverage.
We are saying
you don't pay us for the airtime. Our airtime is so limited.
That is why you have a parliamentary press corps, a specialized press corps. We expect that when you have assigned somebody to Parliament, he stays there till Parliament rises, or Parliament adjourns for the day.
No, but
right? You understand?
No, even the
until and unless you see that exercise, you don't even understand how laws are made.
So now you're blaming us too.
I am saying that it is your responsibility as a fourth estate to educate the public, and the public will form their perceptions because they don't even see us do the work.
No, but even the point is that we are human beings. The MPs, for God's sake, are human beings. So if we are passing a law, and at one stage or the other, a few things elude us, you cannot base on that generalize and say that we are not effective. Don't forget, even before the bills become law, at the committee level, we invite the public, we invite resource persons to come and submit inputs. And I'm saying that we need to educate. There's a lot of communication and education that we have to do for people to understand.
And it's amazing how you're moving away from the NCC and your own PR machinery in Parliament, and now you're coming to the...
Yes, because you see, you are...